Hi everyone, welcome back to my floss tube. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching. And today I'm really excited to tell you all about how I give cross stitch as gifts. So in the almost 2 years that I've been doing floss tube, I have mentioned several times that I really like to give cross stitch as gifts. I've shown several gifts that I've given on this channel, and I've kind of become known as someone who gives cross stitch gifts. So today I thought it would be really fun to just kind of take a stroll down memory lane and show you guys all of the different gifts that I've given over the years that are cross stitch projects. And maybe it could be some inspiration for you. Maybe you'll see something that you want to give for an upcoming event or party that you need a gift for. I've given gifts for Christmas, birthdays, just because, baby showers. So I love giving cross stitches gifts. It doesn't bother me that I'm spending a lot of time on something and then giving it away, because I like to cross stitch, I think, for the process. I like cross stitching for the process. I also like cross stitching for the final product, but I don't need that final product in my house. I just love finding pieces and charts that remind me of my loved ones and being able to, cat intermission, and being able to share my hobby and my passion with them on their special day. So without further ado, I have split this up into a couple different categories of type of gift, and these range from gifts I've made this year to gifts I made 8 years ago in high school. So I thought first I'd jump in with this year's Christmas gifts that I'm giving. I have 2 gifts. I have shown them before while I was working on them, but I haven't shown them on my floss tube since fully finishing them. So I'm gonna grab those. So my first cross stitch gift for Christmas 2024 is this Hess Santa alphabet piece that I've been stitching over the past few months. This is a gift for my in-laws. I stitched this on a 32 count taupe Lugana, and I used a brown DMC for the letters and then the called for reds and greens for the Santas. I actually bought a custom frame from frameiteasy.com. I had never used an online custom framing website before, but I was really happy with the quality of the frame, the process of finishing it, and it came so quick. I was able to get this really nice dark wood frame with 2 mats, a green mat and a red mat, and then it has a white foam core cut to size. And it was great because I didn't have to measure it. I didn't have to do anything other than pin my fabric on when it got here, pop it in the frame. It does have a wire hanger on the back. I just need to add some butcher paper to the back to hide the fabric, but then it'll be ready to go. And I really am happy with how it turned out. The colors on the website were really realistic, so if you're looking for custom frames at an affordable price, Frame Easy was great for me. The second cross stitch project I'm giving for Christmas this year is Let's Make Memories by Imaginating. You all have seen this if you've watched any of my floss tube updates throughout the year. I started this back in June, and this is going to be a gift for my mom. It's stitched on a 28 count white opalescent linen with all the called for DMCs. There's a lot of back stitching in this, and it really was not a time intensive project once I got through the center shredder. But I framed this myself in a $30 frame from Michaels. So it's just a black wood frame, fake wood, black frame with a nice big white mat, and then it has a black plastic, I don't know what this is on the inside, but this black piece here is plastic, and it just kind of separates the white mat from the white project because obviously they're not the same exact color white. And I thought if I had a white mat, then the fabric, I don't know, it would look weird. But I saw this one, so fell in love. I really like how it came out. And this just has claws on the back to hang it up. So this is ready to go. This one is super easy. I used an 8x10 piece of mat board that was pre-cut that I got on Amazon. And my fabric was, I think it would have been just big enough to fit in this frame if I had cut a piece of mat board or foam core but I didn't really think of that when I bought the project. But thankfully, because this black piece is plastic, it like pokes around the mat through the back of the frame. It's hard to explain, but basically it's like raised up in the back. I don't know if you can see that. So I was actually able to set my 8x10 mat on this plastic piece, and then I taped it into place so that it wouldn't move around within the frame. And then it also has a back cover to hold it into place. So I'm not really worried about it moving around. And worst thing, if worst comes to worst, my mom can just take the back off, reposition it, and put it back up. This isn't gonna go through anything too intense, I don't think, so I'm not worried about it moving around. I also gave a framed cross-stitch gift for Christmas in 2022. This is the Phi Gamma Delta Fraternity Crest, and I gave this to my boyfriend, now fiance, for Christmas that year. This one I did get professionally framed at Michael's because I wanted a really ornate look, and I was not confident in my abilities at the time. I had never really finished anything before, so I got this one professionally framed. I spent a good penny on it. I probably could have bought, no, I definitely bought both of the custom frames I just showed you and a little bit more for the price that I paid for this, but I'm really happy with the quality and really happy I splurged on it. It's got this gorgeous ornate gold frame with a purple mat because that is their like color. And then this was actually a kit that I got from GreekGear.com, and they have crests for all of the fraternity and sororities, at least the Panhellenic and IFC fraternities and sororities. I don't know about multicultural sororities, but I know they have a ton on there, and it just came with 14 count white Aida and DMC floss. So I stitched this up. It took a while because this big block stitching, but again, like, he was just my boyfriend at the time. We had been going out a few months, but I wasn't really worried about the time I spent on this and like giving it away because A, I knew it would make him super happy, and B, it made me happy to stitch it. And like, I don't know, it just doesn't bother me to give it away to a loving home. If it was someone who wouldn't appreciate it, maybe not, but I knew he would appreciate it. He hung this in his office for a while he was working for his fraternity, but now it lives in our guest bathroom, except during the holidays when we hang up our wreath, because he has switched jobs and doesn't have a good wall to hang it on. But I'm really happy with this, how this turned out. It's huge. I think it's like 17 inches tall, and I love it. It looks really nice. Continuing with the framed cross stitch, this is a birthday gift that I'm giving this year, 2024. And this is Birdhouse Garden, and I am giving this to my grandma for her birthday this year, or should I say giving it back to my grandma. This is a piece that she started decades ago, and when I got all of her craft supplies, cross stitch supplies, I found the started project, and she still had all the floss, the pattern, and I finished it. So I finished this earlier this fall, and this is another custom frame, but I actually got this one from frameusa.com. And again, super happy with the quality. It was super quick shipping. I got a custom size with a custom cut piece of foam core, and it was so easy, and the quality is really nice. This one is like more heavy duty. If you're interested in like the dimensions or exact frames I got, just let me know and I can look that up. I didn't think to look it up before this, but it's like a lighter natural wood, and I just think it goes really nicely with all the colors and wood in the piece. And this one I already did put the paper on the back, so it's ready to go. And I'm giving this to her birthday, giving this to her for her birthday to hang in her room. I have a print of this exact artwork, so until I get this back, I will be hanging the print up in my house to remind me of her, and then I'll give her this to bring her some sunshine. And I just feel like it's such a happy piece to be able to look at every day. So I'm really excited to give this one. I think she's gonna cry. I hope she cries. I hope she loves it. But I'm really happy with how this framing turned out. And again, I just pinned it myself. Super easy, and I love it. I love it. Excuse me. I'm actually filming a video right now, so if you could move. I also want to say the nice thing about ordering custom frames online is then you have the exact box that fits your custom frame. So it's really nice if you have to travel or ship it, because you already have like a nice secure box to put it in that you know the frame will fit in well. I had to make some room over here because the rest of the projects that I'm going to show are obviously gifts, and so they have been given away. I'm filming this before giving away my 2024 gifts, which is why I had them to show you, but the rest I just have pictures to put up because obviously they've been given away already. So the first one I want to talk about is this mountains piece. This I did back in 2023 as a baby shower gift for my cousins. They were having their first baby girl, and they have like a mountain mural. It's one of those like gray, pink, blue murals in her nursery. So I used that as inspiration, and I found this super adorable mountain scene on Etsy, and I stitched this up for them and framed it myself in a frame from Michael's, and I gave that to them as a gift. It was supposed to be for their baby shower, but it wasn't ready on time, so I just gave it to them before the baby came at some point. But I was really happy with how this came out. It was just on 14 count white Aida with the DMCs, and this was a beast to stitch with all the block stitching and the white stitching. I remember hating my life stitching that, but it was all worth it in the end, to see how beautiful it was when it was finished, and also the joy that it brought them. And it's in her room now, I think, still. The next one was another baby shower gift. My other cousin, who is actually the brothers, they both had a baby, their first babies at the same time. They were having their first baby boy, and their nursery is like woodsy themed, forest themed. So I found this adorable bear and tree pattern on Etsy, and this is actually my first project that I ever stitched on linen. This was just like a 28 count Charles Craft linen from Michael's, and I stitched it with the called for DMCs. And this was a beast in its own right, only because I had never stitched on linen before, and it was a cheap linen, so the threads were super loose and moved around a lot, but I got the hang of it, and I only had to rip out like half of it and start over. But this one was another gift at their baby shower. I don't have a picture of it in the frame because I didn't think ahead at that point, but I did get a nice wood frame, I think, for this, and it fit in a standard size, so that was fantastic. Next up is actually a throwback to like 7th or 8th grade. I think it was 2014. My neighbor and old babysitter was getting married, and we were really close with her growing up, and so I had found this old kit. I should have looked. I want to say it was a Busilla kit that I had gotten at like a garage sale or something, and it had a set of 4 printed pieces of fabric, and so it was like a regular piece of fabric that you would do embroidery on, but the X's and all the lines were printed, so then I was able to cross stitch over the indicated places. And I made this gorgeous sampler for them for their wedding. It says "Loving hearts make a house a home," and I'm really proud of how this came out. Like, I was, what, 12? And I cross stitched this for them and gave it to them as a gift. This picture, there's stripes in the background only because I took this while it was drying after being washed and pressed. I don't have a picture of the frame that we used, but I know we just bought a standard frame, and honestly, I probably just like put it in the frame and pressed the back into it. I don't think I knew better to do anything else. But it was really gorgeous, and it's fun to look back and like have this as a memory. It was a couple of years ago that I found this picture. I just thought it was lost forever, and there was no proof that I ever stitched this, but I'm really happy to have this little throwback. All right, my last piece in the framed cross stitch category is kind of an honorable mention. Technically, there's no cross stitch in this, but it's embroidery, it's close enough, and I want to include it because it's a fun way to make a gift for someone. So I gave this as a birthday gift to one of my best friends in high school, and it says, "I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour." And we were obsessed with Friends. We were best friends. I still am obsessed with Friends. But I made this for her. I was trying to find a good gift to give her. I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to make something And so I had found a print on Etsy that I liked, but I wanted to stitch something. So I printed it out on just a piece of white paper, I think, and I traced it onto a piece of white fabric. And then I just stitched it over, like I used my water-soluble pen to trace it. And then I just embroidered it freehand the best I could. I just kind of guessed. Lots of back stitching in here. All the raindrops are French knots. And then I attempted satin stitch on the letters, which you can probably tell they're a little rough. But I did my best, and I just got a standard frame again. So pretty cheap, easy project to give as a gift, and a great way to like have something customized, I think. Now that I'm older, I probably would purchase the print rather than just, you know, taking the picture off the internet, because I want to give credit to the artists that are creating them. But young Rachel did not know any better. So I'll put that little disclaimer in there. Young high school Rachel didn't really understand, but me as an adult, I would purchase the print now and then print it out and trace it and stitch it, because that's just, you know, my craft is stitching versus just getting it in a frame. I think it makes it that much more special. Okay, moving on to my next category of gifts that I've given. I have 2 hoop finishes that I've given. Both of these were done back in high school when I was just working out of my grandma's stash, using whatever I had. And I made 2 small gifts for 2 of my friends. So the first one is this anchor that I stitched on a red 14 count Aida with navy blue and white DMC floss. And I actually gave this to one of my friends as like a going away gift when she was going to college. She was going to school in Florida. And so we worked together, found something that she liked for her dorm, and I just stitched up this anchor. It was super fast. I just finished it in the hoop and learned how to do like a blanket stitch to finish felt on the back side. And yeah, it probably took me 2 days to do this, if not 1. Like, it was so small. And just like a nice little going away gift. And then the second hoop finish that I have is this geometric deer. This was for another friend that I had in high school, and this was just, I think it was just because I wanted to cross stitch something, and I was like, yeah, I'll cross stitch you something, like let's find something. So she picked this pattern out. It was available on Etsy, and this is actually my first color conversion. Could have been better. The original was like blues and teals, but we chose different browns. Don't know why, but it came out cute. It was just stitched on 14 count white Aida, and finished in a hoop, again with a blanket stitched felt on the back, and it's just a cute little wall hanging that I made just because I wanted to make something for my friends, because I love them. Okay. Couple more things. These next 2 items are both more recent, so you have seen them. They are both pillow finishes. So the first pillow is Strawberry Fair, and this is a design by October House Fiber Arts, and I stitched this on 40 count linen. It was just like a neutral that I had in stash, a little piece of scrap fabric. And I actually started this back in June of 2024 for the #StrawberryMoon sale. And I love this pattern. I didn't know what I was going to do with it when I started, but it was what I wanted to do for the stitch along. And I finished it at StitchCon this year and didn't have any firm plans, but one of my friends and coworkers had seen me working on it, and she was obsessed with the pattern and was like, I love that. Can I have it? And she like asked as a joke, because she like knows, you know, how long it takes to do stuff. But I was like, absolutely, you can have it. Because again, like, it wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to hang up in my house, but I really wanted to stitch the pattern. So I finished it into a small pillow, which of course I didn't take a picture of. I do show it in one of my floss tubes from over the summer before I had given it. Sorry, the cat's in here causing a ruckus today. I do have it in a floss tube from over the summer if you want to go hear more details about it and see the old finished object. But this was Strawberry Fair. I stitched it into a tiny little pillow, and I just gave it to her just because I knew it would make her happy, and it made me happy to stitch it. So now she has it sitting by her computer. She looks at it every day, and it makes me so happy that it's loved, and it's not just sitting in my project roll collecting dust. The second pillow was also a 2024 finish, and this is the Valentine's Day Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And this was actually for the Smalls Exchange for StitchCon this year, but I'm still counting it as a gift because it was just a gift to a mystery person. And I cannot remember who got it, but she loved it. She thought it was amazing. I stitched it 2/2 on a hand-dyed by me piece of linen. I don't remember the count before it was dyed, but it was pretty tight after the dye. And I dyed this with ice dyeing and powdered hot pink dye of some sort. And then while the ice was dripping through and collecting in a drip tray, I threw some DMC white floss in there to be dyed a similar color to the fabric. So I did a little monochrome sampler moment. I did cut down 5 rows and 5 columns from the original pattern so that it would fit with the floss that I had. And then I finished it on some pink backing fabric and some light pink rickrack into a little pillow, and I gave it away at StitchCon this year. And it made me really happy to use supplies that I had done myself and to participate in the Smalls Exchange and just like see someone else get excited about what you had done, and then also me get to be excited about whatever I had received. So I really liked finishing this. Are my pillows perfect? Absolutely not. I had never made a pillow before this, so you can tell it's wonky as heck. I'd obviously never used rickrack before, so you can tell that's wonky. It like barely sticks up on some sides of it, but it's fine. It's well loved and it's cute regardless of if it's perfect or not. The last gift is for the same coworker that I made my Strawberry Fair pillow for, and this is a patch of some sort. We made it into a like backpack patch, and so this is a little bit of a trial and error situation. I never made a patch before, but she knew I like to do crafts. She asked me if I would be willing or able to make a patch for her husband for his backpack, and I was like, I'm sure we could figure it out. I'm sure we can figure something out. So I used a piece of 14 count oatmeal Ada that I had in stash and some no-name DMC floss that I had, and I stitched up this design that she sent me that she wanted on the patch. I don't know the significance of it, but I know it was significant to her. And then I did a solid border around the edges, and I cut as close as I could to the edge. Again, I didn't think to take a picture of it, but I think I showed it in a video before I gave it away. But I just cut right up next to that border, and I put, it was either heat and bond or another adhesive type of backing on it so that she could iron it onto her bag and then just, you know, stitch it with a couple reinforcement stitches when she was ready to put it on whatever she was putting it on. So this one was really fun. It was fun to experiment and see like what I could do with the edges to make sure it stayed together, and as far as I know, it's holding up good. I haven't heard anything different. But yeah, this was a patch that I made. So there's another idea for a gift. Really the ideas are endless with cross stitch. I think that's something that I've noticed recently being on needlepoint TikTok, is obviously they're different crafts, the materials are different, the canvas is a lot sturdier than the linen and Ada that we typically stitch on for cross stitch, but seeing all of the creative needlepoint finishes has really inspired me to want to do more with my cross stitch and like apply it in different ways. So this is what I've done so far, and I'm really excited to see what I'm able to accomplish over the next few years and what other creative finishes I can come up with. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching this. I really enjoyed taking a little trip down memory lane and getting to talk about some projects that I've made over the years. And I hope this inspires you to try aiming cross stitch as a gift if you haven't already. Don't be afraid to try new things and work hard to make something gorgeous for the people that you love. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video.